Hello, my dear friends. Punarvas Jayakumar here. Guys, just 3 days ago, October 19th, a landmark decision by Supreme Court was made by our Chief Justice Shri Lalit Ji and S. Ravindra Bhatt and Mr. Narasimha, a three-member bench. We know, we are all cricket lovers. We have seen BCCI making loads of money, crores and crores of money through IPL and of course through other matches as well, through the normal, matches conducted for the Indian cricket team and of course the IPL. Have you ever wondered that how much tax that BCCI pay? BCCI does not pay even 1 rupee tax because BCCI is a charitable organization as per the provisions of Income Tax Act. So this, Supreme Court judgment came out 2-3 days ago, but I think it was made accessible only yesterday, 21st or day before 20th. So I've downloaded it today and I just analyzed it because of my, personal agenda that I love, cricket, and of course I always had a keen interest on income tax since years. So I just downloaded that from the Supreme Court of India website and I just went through it, spent 2-3 hours and just read other judgments. So of course, I want to tell you the gist of the story. Let me go ahead, guys, because sharing is caring and knowledge is power. So let's go ahead because you also should, all of us should know exactly what is the entire thing. So let me share that with you. Charitable purpose means what? So I just went to the history where when it was formed way, way before. But let's not go to the law which was there before 1962. It will again confuse us. Let us now stick to what was the thing in 1962, which came into force on 1962 when the older law was repealed. When the older law, it just said before 1962, just the gist of the story, it just said charitable purpose means anything which is done for charity, that can be for the poor people, education, etc. That's it. Education, medical relief, it said. Education. Now, what happened was there was one case law. Let's not go into the name and all that. So they started distributing newspapers to the poor and started distributing newspaper to school kids and to normal kids and normal people in the among the general public. And they sold also separately and they distributed also. And when the money was about to be taxed, they said, boss, see, it is for education. It is for general public utility. General public utility means anything that helps the welfare of anything that is for the welfare of the public. Now, this went to court and there were a lot of, issues raised. That's why in 1962, the law was amended. And what did they do? They added this line. They said, advancement of any other object of general public utility not involving the carrying on of any activity for profit. Not involving the carrying of any activity for profit. So, if you run any organization for profit, it cannot be called as charitable organization. Guys, this is the law as per 1962. What is the law today? It has changed. Let's not come there. I'm just giving you a history until we come to the main issue. Main issue still remains amount earned by BCCI. Is it taxable? BCCI then distributes the amount to various cricket organizations, and without those cricket organizations, BCCI is nothing. So would the taxation, what is the taxability of those areas, of those cricket associations? That also we need to discuss. Now let us see this, not involving what? The carrying of any activity for profit. So what does this mean? Non-involving of any carrying of activities for profit. So let's try to understand this concept, shall we? Let's move on next. Now the profit motive here, the profit motive that we are seeing here, activity for profit motive. That profit motive, should it be there in the trust deed, a charitable trust deed, or should it be there in the activity that it actually does? What should it be? So let me just take a few Supreme Court judgments that I went through for a couple of hours. In order to decode this, I had to go through at least around 8 to 9 other Supreme Court judgments. Superb it was. I just wanted to share this with you. So profit motive, I get so excited to read the Supreme Court judgments because of the language that they use and of course the way they interpret. Hats off to the judiciary. We have already discussed there are 3 pillars of our entire legal system. One, of course, is the legislature that makes the law, then of the executive which executes the law, and third important thing, the ones who interpret the law, that is the judiciary. So, our deepest respect should go to the judiciary for interpreting the law and also to try to get into the mind of the legislator, lawmaker, and try to understand what it is, the interpretation of statutes which you already know. Anyway, so as per different other cases, so my question was the profit motive, should it be there as per the deed or should it be there as per the activity? So what if the deed is silent, but I'm actually, doing some activity now, which is actually earning profit? Now, can I go and take exemption under 2 clause 15, the definition, and then of course, can I go to section 11, 12, 12A and all and take exemption is the question. So let's see. The trust deed did not contain any condition for profit making, but the judge in one of the cases said a slightly different view, saying that the actual activity needs to be considered. Don't go by the wordings. He said actions speak louder than words. So he said go by the wording, go by the actions, not by the wordings, rather than the absence or existence of any condition in the trust deed. So trust deed, don't see that, check the actual activity is what they said. Now, one more important case law, this I need to give a citation, the Indian Chamber of Commerce versus Commissioner of Income Tax. So as per clauses 4 and 8 of the MOA of that particular Indian Chamber of Commerce, it said the chamber's member could not stand to gain personally, since no portion of income, property of the association shall be paid directly or indirectly by way of dividend, bonus or otherwise, howsoever by way of profit to the persons who at any time are members of the association. So they said if you are a member of this association, whatever profit we make will not be distributed. Now, is this, a charitable organization because they are not distributing their whatever money that they are earning? One more question will come, should a charitable organization not make money only? Or if it makes money, it should not make profit? Or what if it makes little bit more than the cost? All those muddled questions are there since time immemorial, since years, which has been now discussed in this beautiful Supreme Court case law. That's why it is a very, very important case law. Every CA student should know. Whether you like income tax, don't like income tax, like law, don't like law, you are a CA student, you are a law student, any law enthusiast should know about this decision. It has far-reaching consequences. So please, listen to the entire video. And I also need your thoughts, okay, in the comments. That will also add value to me as well. Now, for example, let's take a funeral home. Let's take a funeral home. I have 3 cats at home. Before that also we had, 1 cat. Before that also we had 2. So basically, wherever we have tie-ups with lot of associations where they find the cats injured, etc. So they'll first take it over, they'll rehabilitate the cat, and then they'll give it up for adoption. And when the cat, now those organizations, they are just purely there for the love of animals. And we are all part of it. In fact, my entire family, cats, dogs, any sort of animal for that matter. So now tell me, now let us say one pet dies. One of the pets recently died like 3-4 months ago. I took it to a funeral home, right? That funeral home is managed by our, BBMP, Bangalore Brihat Mahanagara Palika. So that they do not charge any money. No, they do not charge any money. It's free. So there you go. And only for the wood, etc., because they have to put it in the incinerator, only for the wood, etc., they charge some 200 rupees. I paid, I got it done. Now tell me, that 200 rupees for that funeral home, is it profit? So charity means, when I say not, involving profit, does it mean that I should not make money only? So there they would have charged the cost of that, wood and little extra. And I asked one thing, should I buy this or can I bring my own? Just wanted to understand the mindset of how that organization works. Personal experience. He said, no sir, if you want, you bring your own. I have no problem, but the service is free. If you want, you bring your own wood and other things. Otherwise, you can take this. So that shows that there is no intention to make profit. And after the, cremation, I remember I offered some money to that guy. He didn't take. He said, no sir, we're not supposed to take. So yes, that I understood what is a charitable organization, honestly speaking. So funeral home, this example that I gave you, compare that with another funeral home which actually charges you money. Correct? It actually charges you money. So one of my other pets, 2, 3 other pets are actually there in that funeral home. So we pay almost around 5,000 rupees every year because we have to buy that space, and we have bought that space 5,000 rupees every year, and we keep our pet there. Oh, he's always he's resting there. So all 4 of my pets are there in that funeral home. Every year once we just go visit. It's nice. So now what about that? Is that charitable organization? See, think about it. So always involve yourself practically, guys. Whatever you see involve practically, you will understand. Now, Super Bazaar Funeral Home, where I told 5,000 rupees per annum I should give, 5,000 rupees per annum. What about that? So in various judgments, I just took some questions. The true test to ask for answers are the following. So I was just made a few tests that you should understand. What are those tests? Let us see. One second. Is the object of the SSC one of general public utility? Is it for the betterment of the public? Is it for the welfare of the public? Question number 1. Does the advancement of the object involve activity bringing in money? Funeral home, yes, it's bringing in money. Is it for general public utility? Yes, anybody who wants to cremate their pets can come there. If so, are such activities undertaken for profit or without profit? The BBMP example that I gave you, since it was closer to my house there, I went there that day. This is the objective is definitely not for profit. Whereas the other funeral home which I went to, which we have around 3-4 pets already there, that of course they want to maintain the entire thing, and that is definitely slightly there for profit. So then I have to understand what is the real nature of the activity that I'm doing there. One which is ordinarily carried on by ordinary people for gain. Is it like that? Is it a service provided? For example, I have a reading room, Swadhyaya, where people can come and study there. When I was doing CA, I was not able to study anywhere, and I used to go to these public libraries. Then I realized that once I become a CA, if I have enough resources, I will definitely create a reading room. So in 2019, we created a reading room. And I am telling you openly, I told you that time also, this is not for profit. It is not a free reading room. You have to pay for the services, and you have to do that. So though we are just breaking even or just making slightly extra money, but money making, what the actual profit is at the end of the day doesn't matter. The intention matters. The intention of that reading room is definitely not charity. There are reading rooms across South India, especially in Guntur. When I went there, I was shocked to see so many reading rooms. And those reading rooms, of course, are for profit. Whether they're making profit or not is immaterial. It is the intention. So when I created that reading room, it was a dual objective. One objective, of course, when I could not study, I wanted students to study. But second, to get that quality, you need to pay, as simple as that. So it is not a charitable organization where anybody can come. You need to pay an amount. Amount may be less. Amount is very less, whatever we are charging. Amount may be very less, but the intention was to make some money. So is that charitable organization? No. Got it? So what these gist of these decisions are is the intention matters a lot. Moving on. Is there a built-in prescription in the constitution against making a profit? I have to see. What is the mindset while starting the organization? That is what the court needs to check. Forget about the court. That's what the assessing officer has to check, right? Yes. And has there been in practice profit from this venture before? And just because there is profit, is it not charity? Or if there is no profit only, is there charity? So many questions. I'm sure you're also getting those questions, right? Yes. This is, this dialogue made my day. Honestly, I'm not joking. This is by the judge in some case in 1976, way before even I was born. You see, we appreciate the involved language, that language, not involving profit, not for carrying on profit. But when legislative draftsmanship declines to be simple, the legislative draftsmanship, the way it is drafted, is not simple. Then see this, the interpretative complexity, because so many questions I threw you now, I threw at you. Now that complexity becomes a judicial necessity. Wonderful. So what is trying to tell is, when the language is very tough, it opens up to many interpretations, and that is why it becomes a necessity for a judge to interpret. Wonderful language. This dialogue made my day, guys. Right? Yes. Then, very, very important decision, in one more decision, Surat Art Silk Cloth Manufacturers Association. So the objects of this company included, mind you, promoting commerce and trade in art, silk yarn, raw silk, cotton yarn, art silk cloth and cotton cloth among other objects. Okay. Memorandum of this particular company provided that its income and property wheresoever derived was to be applied solely for the promotion of its objects. A recent one more Supreme Court judgment in this month only, they actually defined the, interpreted the word solely. Does solely means only or does solely means primarily? Deadly. Does solely means only or does solely means primarily? For example, I'll give you. We created Swadhyaya reading room, our reading room, solely for the benefit of the students. Point number one. Second, we created Swadhyaya reading room primarily for the benefit of the students. Both are different. Solely means only, that is the only objective. I told you my objective. One was because I couldn't study, I wanted the students to study. Second one, of course, we have to make some money. Something, even if break even, it's good for us. So we wanted to charge reasonable fee, but the intention was never to do it as charity. So when I use the word solely, it means what? It means only for the benefit. If I had opened the reading room only for the benefit of the students and not with an intention of making some money, even if it's break even, then it is called charity. This was a Supreme Court decision. One more. This also came this month only. Solely, imagine. Surat Art Silk is a many years old decision, but the word solely also they defined recently. This was under 1023C exemption. Anyway, come back for the promotion of its object. So in this case, the income should only be given only and only plowed back into this thing. What do you say? That silk yarn and all those things. During the course of this, they had to export, import silk and they made money. That was the case. They made money. Surat Art Silk Cloth said, bro, it is 100% clear-cut case of charity. Assessing officer said, no, bro, it is revenue. You please pay tax. This went to, the assessing officer, commissioner, CIT appeals, ITAT, High Court, Supreme Court also it went. Right? This entire case. Very, very important case law. This is not the case that we are discussing now, by the way. This is just all build up to the main question of BCCI. Right? Next, moving on. As I told you, lower courts granted exemption. They said yes, because of the word solely and everything they are flowing back into it. They are making money, but they are flowing back into it. The intention was not for profit at all. Intention was for the furtherance of, the entire promoting the commerce in this particular trade in silk. So if you see, this is the final decision. The primary purpose for which the SSC was established was to promote the commerce and trade, not to make profit is what everybody told. The, the ITAT and the High Court also. This went to Supreme Court. Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals also told the same thing. High Court also told, ITAT also told the same thing. Then High Court also told the same thing, went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court now tried to analyze the wordings. You see. Beautiful. I'll come back. See, I have not yet discussed the new section. I'm still with the old section, so bear with me. Okay? It's an important decision. Bear with me. Right? I've tried to take extracts from the Bear Act to make it easy. If we read the Bear Act, really, we'll die. Correct? So I read almost died half and I'm coming back here. Beautiful, but beautiful. Yes. So, 2 clause 15 says, charitable purpose includes relief of the poor, education, medical relief, and the advancement, mind you, advancement of any other object of general public utility, GPU, general public utility. That is the fourth limb that we have to study now. BCCI comes under GPU, general public utility. This we have seen, not involving the carrying on of any activity for profit. One question, the profit motive here given, is it for the object or is it for the advancement? Sir, please leave me, sir. Please shut this video off. No, I will not. My question is, the profit motive, is it for the object or is it for the advancement? Means what? My object is, let us say, BCCI's object is sports, promoting sports among the youth. Advancement, what will I do? I will have matches. I will, I will organize IPL and bring youngsters into the fore. Now the profit motive, is it for the object, helping the country, helping the youth, or is it for the advancement? What, if it comes, where will it be a problem? Deadly. Based on that also on Supreme Court decision. In this only that, Surat Art Silk. So what does it say? It is not necessary that the accomplishment of the object or the means to carry out the object should not involve an activity for profit. That is not the mandate of the law. Newly added words means in 1960. They are saying, boss, when I say not involving carrying of profit, it is not saying it is for the advancement. For advancement, profit can be there. Only for object, profit should not be there. See? What these words require is that the object should not involve the carrying of any activity. The emphasis is on the object of GPU and not the accomplishment or attainment, means not the advancement. Not the advancement or not the means to the end, but it is the end. The end objective should not be for profit. The end objective should not be for profit. Right? So for that library thing, whether you make profit or not, I don't care. If you make profit, good. If you don't make profit, it's your bad. But the intention, the object was to make profit or not, was the question. Right? Next. Now, that same dialogue, I'm analyzing the same dialogue, not involving the carrying on of any activity for profit. Not involving the carrying of any activity for profit. Sir, involve means what? For means what? Huh? For means what? Yes. Supreme Courts will decide on these things only. Involve means what? In interpretation of statute in CA Inter, we learned when I use the word litera legis. Litera legis means literal construction. So when I use the word involve, I should go literally into the meaning. What do you mean by involve? So if I go to Oxford Dictionary to understand involve, it means to enwrap in anything, or to enfold, or to envelope, to contain or imply. So the activity of profit, the activity for profit, sorry, must therefore, I said activity of profit, wrong it is. It should be activity for profit. Every word is important. Activity for profit must therefore be intertwined or wrapped up with or implied in the purpose of the trust. I created a library. Profit motive should be intertwined. Whether you make profit or not, immaterial, but it should be intertwined, right? It should be wrapped up. That is the most important thing. So when I say involve, it means it should be wrapped up. Objective must be to make profits. Objective must be to make profits. If you don't make, I can't help it. If your objective is not making profit, but still you make the profit, still it's charity. Are you understanding? That silk, that case law was that only. My objective was never to make profit. I made. What can I do, boss? I made extra money, but I'm flowing back into the objects itself, right? Yes. And it must be an integral part of the purpose. Then they say that is the meaning of involve. Now next question. What is the meaning of for, sir? Activity for profit means what, sir? Yes. Depends on the connotation of the preposition for. That's why BCR is important in foundation. I tell my foundation kids start BCR properly. And our amazing institute is removing BCR in the new syllabus. God only should help them. Yes. The preposition has many shades of meaning. But when used with the active participle of a verb, correct? Participle and all is there in preposition, is there in BCR, CA foundation. Yes, for the purpose of, see, it is the active participle of a verb, for the purpose of, and connotes the end with reference. It is not therefore enough that as a matter of fact an activity results in profit, but it must be carried on with the object of earning profit. For the purpose of. For means what? For the purpose of. Means it is not, it doesn't matter if the activity results in profit, like the silk case, but was the intention to make profit. An activity is carried on with the predominant object of earning profit, it would be an activity for profit. Otherwise, it is not activity for profit. Then one more thing which made my tomorrow also. What made my day, I already told you. This made my tomorrow also. What? The charitable purpose should not be submerged by the profit-making motive. So this is called as the former, and profit-making motive is the latter. Charitable purpose means former, profit making motive is latter. The latter, profit making motive, should not masquerade, should not hide behind, should not have a face, corporate veil, should not have a facade, should not have a mask. Masquerade means mask, okay? Should not, have a mask under the guise of the former. Means what? Hiding behind charity, you cannot make profit. That is what all these people have been doing. BCCI from so many years, they are doing this. Hiding behind the facade of charity, they are minting money. Right? Many such things also came. That is the problem. So if we apply the test in the present case, it is clear that the activity of obtaining license for import, etc., whatever, was a very much part of the entire activity. And just because they made extra money, that's what you see, profit was merely a byproduct which resulted incidentally in the process of carrying out the charitable purpose. So Supreme Court also said, we are deciding against the revenue, against income tax department. Amazing. Got it? Very, very important case. After that, so many cases came. Now, with that in mind, let us now enter into the Bare Act. I have identified 5 sections which are relevant for our discussion. Sir, I thought video is over. No, bro. That was Bahubali beginning. This is Bahubali conclusion. Now it begins, right? So all these 20 minutes was just not time pass, but to give you a history. You know my classes, right? We always go to the history of every legislation and come. Right. So 2 clause 15, 11 clause 4a, 11 subsection 4a, 13 subsection 8, 1023c, 13th proviso. I had to sit and count 13. Then I was just reading, then I saw this proviso, then I again counted which proviso it is. Then 143.3, third proviso. We should read everything. So let us see what is the definition now. Let me see, guys. Come on, let's decode the Bare Act together. You and I together. Let us do it right now. I shall take you to one by one. 2 clause 15. What's the dialogue now? One second. 2 clause 15, 2 clause 15. Yeah, there. Charitable purpose includes, inclusive definition, relief of the poor, education, yoga, Baba Ramdev, medical relief, preservation of environment, including watersheds, forest, wildlife. Everything has been changed. My one question I'll answer later is sports, education. We'll see that later. And preservation of monuments or places or objects of artistic or historic interest, and the advancement of any other object of GPU. Sir, but not carrying profit, they have removed, they have not removed, they have inserted as a proviso. They have inserted as a proviso. BCCI comes under education or this GPU. We'll discuss later. Provided that the advancement of any other GPU, mind you, this proviso is only for this. It's not for education. This proviso is only for this. That, which means if you assume sports as education, then the proviso need not come. But if you assume sports to be this, then the proviso will come. The advancement of any other GPU shall not be a charitable purpose if it involves the carrying of any activity, trade, commerce, etc. in relation to any trade for a cess or fee or any other consideration. So it will not be charity if you consider it to be a cess, fee or any other consideration. If you actually, pay for it, or if you charge money for it, irrespective of the nature or use of the activity or income of such activity, unless what? 2 things. Which means if these dual conditions are followed, even though you are making money, it will still be not considered as a, it will be considered as a charitable purpose. It will be considered as a charitable purpose. This came in 2016, this particular amendment. I repeat, even if you are making money, for example, that silk yarn, you're making money, it's okay. But if these dual conditions are fulfilled, then no problem. I will still say that it is what? A charitable activity. First one. Such activity should be undertaken in course of actual carrying out of advancement of the GPU. Main object GPU. If you do any other thing for the betterment of GPU, for the advancement of GPU, then yes. Activity, and this activity should be what? Actual carrying out of the activity. Actually carrying out of the activity. So yes, second, the aggregate receipts from some activity during the previous years do not exceed 20% of the total receipts of the trust. 20% of the total receipts of the trust. So if IPL is for the betterment of advancement of the GPU, which is nothing but for public welfare, promoting sports in India, income from IPL should be less than 20% of the receipts of BCCI, in simple words. If yes, then BCCI is not taxed. It is still charity. Otherwise, no. Got it? Very simple. This was the accepted position everywhere. So they tried to figure out as to how, what, etc. And based on that, consequential amendments also were made. So we just did this now. To clause 15 we did. Let's go to other one, 11.4a. 11. Income from property held for charitable or religious purposes. In that, this they are saying the following income shall not be included in the total income. So they will exclude it from the total income while calculation. So in that you check 11.4a. Let's see. See, subsection 1, 2, 3 or whatever was there before, which spoke about that it will not be included in the total income, shall not apply in relation to any income of a trust or an institution being profits and gains of the business unless the business is incidental to the main attainment of the main objects. And then separate books of accounts are maintained. If there are various businesses, so I am running, let's say, an orphanage, and there are various other businesses there involved. One is catering. I also have the catering business for the orphanage. I have, the entire, clothes. I actually make these orphans, yarn. They work on the yarn and make some products, and I sell those products. It is there in Kannandevan estate, where the people there of the estate actually make this Starbucks, which you get this, bags, right? When you go and have Starbucks coffee, that cup, that plastic, the paper cup that is made in the Kannandevan estate actually. So like that, I have multiple businesses under one umbrella saying charitable organization. So you say that business, the income, they are trying to tell here that you should maintain a separate book, separate accounts for that to ensure, to see that whether the receipts from that business will be less than 20%. So guys, harmoniously we should read. That's what I'm trying to tell. We should use the principle of harmonious construction. 215 says, even though you're making money, it's okay, but it should be for the attainment of that main object and it should be less than 20%, right? Same here also they're telling you should maintain separate accounts to ensure it is less than 20%. That's what they are also telling. Then let's see, 13.8. Let's see 13.8. Nothing contained in section 11 or 12. Section 11 we just saw. Nothing contained. This is not notwithstanding. Notwithstanding is a non-abstant clause. It will only override the conflicting provisions. Here they are telling nothing will apply. This is not a non-abstant clause. Basically nothing will apply. Nothing contained in 11 or 12 shall operate so as to exclude any income from the total income of the previous years, etc. If the provisions of the first proviso to clause 15 become applicable. Beautiful. Here also they are telling the same thing. Nothing shall operate to exclude if first proviso applies. Means, simple words, if 2 clause 15 is followed properly, the proviso which we have discussed, that 20% limit, and of course the whatever business you do should be for the furtherance of the main object. If you do that, nobody can exclude your income from the, nobody can include your income from the into the total income. That particular income that you do, they will not include it. They're trying to tell, they will exclude. This is also harmoniously telling. Nothing contained in section 11 shall operate to exclude the income. No, I will obviously, if the first proviso is followed properly, I'll ensure that you will get exemption. Gist of the story. I'll ensure that exemption will be granted. That is section number 13. Everything is telling the same thing only. That's the best part. Then let's see one deadly section, 1023. 11 is done. Let's see 1023. If you see 1023, first you will get mini heart attack, and after that, after you recover from the mini heart attack, other things will come. Okay. First of all, you have to figure out where is 1023. All full, all A, B, B, C, C, A, B, A, B, B, everything is there in that superb section. Let's see. Yeah. 1023C especially. There. 1023C. I told you, no, you have to wait for one. Here. Any income received by any person on behalf of all these things are there. See your university or other educational institution. This one only, guys, solely for educational purpose. This is only Supreme Court judgment had come. Solely. Is it primarily? That is one of the objectives, or solely? Solely. Hospital and all these things. All that. Any other fund institution, any trust, any university, any hospital, keeps on going like that. So many things. I told you, no, where we have to die and find this. All these things are there. This is the 13 proviso. Provided also that the income of a trust or an institution referred to in clause 4 and 5, the previous clause that I showed you, shall be included in the total income of the previous year if the provisions of the first proviso become applicable, which means if you breach those two conditions, they are trying to tell. If you breach those two conditions, then whether exemption is there or not to the organization, I don't care. I will add your income. I will tax the income. That's what they're saying. You cannot go and say, sir, I have 1023C exemption. I don't care, boss. It will be added. Got it? So that's what I'm trying to tell. Deadly. This was also an amendment which was made in 2009, some years ago. Yes. That's what, guys. So basically, the previous 11.4 also told the same thing. If you breach the contract, if you breach those two conditions, then I will add it. Here also they are telling, sir, I have taken exemption. I don't care. See, whether or not any approval is granted or notification is issued, here the central government will give the approval. Granted or notification issued in respect of such trust or institution, whether it has been withdrawn, not withdrawn, rescinded, not rescinded, I don't care. Has the government cancelled the exemption because you have been, not following the rules? I don't care. Has it been withdrawn? I don't care. Sir, it's not withdrawn. I don't care whether or not. If you do not follow the dual conditions, you're out. That is 1023C and 13 proviso. Last one in the assessment, provisions, 143 assessment, 143.3. Let's read. Third proviso. Consequential amendments were made in 2009 itself, guys. Provided also that notwithstanding anything contained in the first and second proviso, no effect shall be given by the assessing officer to the provisions of 1023C in case of a trust or institution if the provisions of 2 clause 15 become applicable. Sir, approval is granted. I don't care. Sir, approval has been withdrawn. I don't care. Approval has been rescinded. I don't care. Notwithstanding anything contained, whatever, it overrides the conflicting provisions. No effect shall be given by the assessing officer. under the provisions of 1023C. Means the 1023C exemption, that effect only will not be given anywhere if you breach the dual conditions of 2 clause 15. Got it? With this knowledge in mind, now let us get into the crux of the matter. Right? The most important thing, the piece de resistance, they say. Pardon my French, it's a little weird, but yes. So 1023C and 13 proviso and what? 143.3 third proviso. Let's see, guys. Now, gist of the story. The Supreme Court decision which came now. What did it say? An SSC advancing general public utility cannot engage itself in any trade, commerce or activity in relation thereto for any consideration we know. Exception can engage if dual conditions are satisfied. The activities of trade, commerce, etc. are connected to the achievement of its objects. BCCI objects is what? Development of cricket in India. Business is connected, IPL. And the receipt from such business or commercial activity or service in relation thereto does not exceed the quantified limit, 20% of receipts. It is only when the charges are markedly or significantly above the cost incurred by the SSC in question. If you make crazy profit, no, then they would fall within the mischief of this cess, fee or any other consideration. Otherwise, no problem is what they say. If the objective is this. Next question. Is sports education? In 215, will it come under education or will it come in advancement? If it comes in education, the end, whatever we read now is waste. Again, I've taken it from a 1976 Supreme Court judgment. The sense in the word education is the systematic instruction, schooling or training. Because anything can be education, guys. Anything can be education. Traveling, I love to travel. Traveling is education. I've learned so much in traveling, which I can assure you by reading a book I could not have learned. If I watch a show, I will not learn so much as I learn when I go and travel. Correct? I've traveled so many countries. It's been 22 countries now. It's been a break in the last couple of years, but learned so much. In my class, I actually share my experiences linked to the subject only. Yes. Likewise, if I read newspapers and magazines, I may get more education. If I visit a zoo, I will get education. If I just look at animals, I will learn many things. If somebody, I've left my wallet here. That's my stupid thing. I always leave my wallet here and go off somewhere. Somebody comes and takes away my wallet. It's an education, learning. So everything is learning. Everything is education. If I go to a nightclub and just see the mysteries of life, I'm not saying, judge is saying that. You go to a nightclub, you get acquainted with and add to your knowledge about some of the not much revealed realities and mysteries of life. Joint family, just saying. Joint family, right? All this is in a way education in the great school of life. Amazing. So, but that is not the sense in which this education is there in 2 clause 15. What education connotes here is process of training, developing the knowledge, skill, mind and character of students by formal schooling. You buy my classes, charitable organization. No. Intention is not that at all, you also know, right? That's what it is. Of course, that is one of the incidental objects. That is primarily, but not solely. Coming back to the final climax. Sports associations. Now what happens is BCCI actually is an association, all the other sports associations also come under that only, and BCCI is just like an agent. On behalf of the associations it works. So check it out. Saurashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Baroda, Rajkot example, etc. are BCCI and they are linked closely. That's what the Supreme Court observed. These are all Supreme Court observations. The management of the game of cricket is structured in such a way that the link is apparent at every match or fixture. If it happens in Bangalore, I will not say Karnataka State Cricket Association. We'll tell BCCI only, no. Link is like crazy. In the course of conducting matches which are scheduled by BCCI as a national coordinating body, they are just a national coordinating body. Apart from amounts received from sale of entry tickets, advertisement money, sponsorship, etc., media rights, the broadcasting rights, it is sold to crores and crores of rupees. broadcasting rights, that is now distributed among various associations, believe it or not. They are auctioned by BCCI to the people, to the uh, media houses, and the sporting channels, the channels will buy them, and the money that they get, crores advertisement revenue, that they will now distribute to various uh, cricket organizations. Every cricket organization, there is a case pending with the High Court or Supreme Court somewhere. High Courts. Let's take one example, Gujarat Cricket Association. So the BCCI, there they said they negotiate the term on which the media rights are sold also. The money that they received, these associations, cricket association, money that they received. Now forget about BCCI. Think about this cricket associations. The money that they receive, no, is that revenue? Yes. But all the courts, including the High Court, the money was treated as a capital subsidy till now, my dear friends. Activities of cricket associations are run on business lines. That's what the Supreme Court is saying. Associations own physical and other infrastructure, maintain them. They are well organized supply chain also. Very, very neatly organized. Many such matches are conducted at what? National level, or for under 16, under 18 matches at regional level are also there. These activities are not to be seen in isolation, but see it as an ecosystem, they are saying. How many people are you producing from your organization, from your association? There's a lot of, politics also. On a close scrutiny of expenses, having regard to the nature of receipts, expenditure incurred by cricket association does not disclose that any significant portion is actually towards what? Coaching camps or academies. You are using it for other things. How the hell do you call it? Advancement of general public utility was the question. Correct? But High Court, despite all this, what High Court said? These receipts in the hands of Cricket Association is nothing but appropriation of profits. They are not earning anything. BCCI is earning and distributing. It's an appropriation of profit. What can be taxed is accrual of profit and not appropriation. This is what High Court said. Supreme Court said, bro, please read the definition. I respect you, definitely, but read the definition. Read the meaning. What is happening in my country? Supreme Court told day before yesterday. They just took an example of Gujarat Cricket Association in the year 2009. Their amount was some 4 crore, 3,98,000, and this is from 1 or 2 matches, that's it. So in that, sponsorship money was 20 lakh. Bank interest was so much. Of the total 2.21 crores shown as income, 32 lakh 24,000 was shown as expenditure. Only a fraction of that expenditure was towards promotion of cricket. Supreme Court said categorically day before yesterday, ITAT and High Court was wrong in taking it as capital subsidy. 100% wrong. 100% wrong. Then we can go to a 1946 case law. Sony Steel and Press Works. It said, it is not the source from which the amount is paid to the SSE, that money distributed by BCCI to others, which is determinative of the question whether the subsidy payments are of revenue or capital nature. The first proposition, which was in the Viscount-Simon case, old case, 1946, as I told you, that if payments in the nature of subsidy from public funds are made to the SSE to assist him in carrying on the trade and business, Cricket Association guys, you are getting money from BCCI, you are running the show with that money. That is 100% trade receipts, is what they said. Right? Revenue receipt, not capital receipt, is what they said. Now, what did the Supreme Court finally say? All those things are not capital subsidies, they are 100% wrong. So Supreme Court did not open the cases against BCCI. Supreme Court has told the assessing officer, now kindly open all the cases against the cricket associations. These are definitely not for charitable purposes. So slowly BCCI also will eventually be opened. But you know who is the chairman, who is the president, who is the chairman of BCCI? You know how it is. You know the government. We also have discussed in previously who's running the government. Is it businessmen or is it politicians? We know all that. So rest, I will leave it up to your judgment. But this is the amazing judgment. One request, guys. I've spent a lot of time to share this with you. Please comment below your thoughts. What did you feel about this video? What is your view about this? What is in store for the cricket in future? Should first of all BCCI be taxed? I want you to answer. Please, I request you. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I had so much fun in analyzing this. Even though it's just a 50-minute video, the efforts that went into was from 4-5 hours, but really worth it. I hope you like and subscribe and spread this knowledge. Love you all. Always for you. Take care, guys. Bye.